Welcome to this new episode of Model Airport Reviews, the series in which I review model airports from viewers. It's currently the 7th episode and we've reviewed 150 airports, which means we've got 100 airports left to review and there are already 10 airports qualified for the grand finale that compete for a great prize, about which I will have more information very soon. First of all, we have Jade Airport in the Middle East. This is a pretty cool model airport if the ground of the apron was colored a tint of grey, so it would resemble either asphalt or concrete. Also, use a Uniposca paint marker to create all of the taxiway lines. And don't forget to use a ruler with that. In between the taxiway and the runway, you can fill up the blank space using modeling grass. You already have great amount of ground service equipment and a pretty cool variety of model aircraft on your airport. So I believe with those tips, your airport is going to look ultra realistic. Up next we have Antwerp North International Airport, a 1:500 scale fictional airport. Even though it's really small, there are a lot of details on this airport. He has used skewers very creatively to create the approach lights and also a fence around this airport. Furthermore, the trees look really good. The background really adds an extra sense of realism to the pictures. And I also really like the looks of this highway. Now it's a shame that you don't have more models and ground service equipment, but your airport already looks really great. Here we have King County International Airport located in Seattle. There are a lot of aircraft on the airport, but the airport still misses ground markings and you could consider adding windows on the terminal. But something really cool that he added to his airport is this departure board in the air traffic control tower. It's made using an Arduino and it displays and cycles all of the flight information, which is so cool and so unique. I really like the creativity. And this is something I'd love to add to my own airport as well. Here we have AAD International Airport in the Colorado Rockies. It's a really simple and minimal airport, but it does look really good. Here are a few tips for you to create even more realism. First of all, add rubber tire marks. Here you see all the black spots on the runway, which is rubber that came off the aircraft's tire upon landing. These marks are not only on the runway, but also on the taxiways. You can make these marks using charcoal and rubbing it over the taxiway line. Also, you could consider adding more markings to the aircraft stands. Here you see an overview of all the markings with the explanation of what the marking is for. And you can always add these different stop markings for different sizes aircraft as well, all the way at the end of the taxiway. This is Southwest Regional Airport. I've received quite a few airports like this one. My tip for young collectors that want to build a model airport is to use a simple airport mat and then build a Legos terminal around it, just like this guy has done. Up next is Kalu International Airport. It's located in French Polynesia and all of the buildings have been handmade using paper and cardboard. And I think they look really good. He's got a section next to his airport with some buildings, trees and grass which all look fantastic. I really like the fire station over here. The rest of his airport looks great as well. You could consider adding a bit more markings on the aircraft stands, but there are great amount of ground service equipment and overall this is a pretty nice airport. This is North Japan International Airport. Another simple model airport which looks really good. It's got all of the markings, modeling grass, ground service equipment and an air traffic control tower. Just a very complete model airport. A way to create even more realism would be to add a background and hang it onto the white wall. You could choose for a background of a terminal or a scene at the airport, which would be fitting because all these planes are parked facing that way. This is Konstanz-Keuslingen International Airport located in Germany. It's partially handmade and the rest are airport mats. The scale is 1:200. And therefore the ground service equipment and jet bridges look very detailed. Something you could have done to make your airport look better is to improve the connection between the airport mats, as because now it seems to be duct tape with grey paint over it. But for the rest, we have a great looking airport once again. Here is Fort Trenton International Airport in the New York State. It's a tiny airport built on an MDF board. And what's really cool is this DIY created hangar. because I think that this door can open and close itself, which is a really cool feature. Also, at night this airport lights up, using what I think are some DIY LED lights. This is Markonos International Airport, located on the fictional island of Markonos. This tiny regional airport looks really nice. I like all of the bushes on the modeling grass. The details in the ground markings, like this crack in the concrete, is really realistic. I also very much like all of the tiny buildings around the airport. He's got a lot of ground service equipment driving on his airport, which adds much realism. And overall, I believe this is a very cool looking regional airport, maybe even contending for a spot in the grand finale. Up next we have ABX International Airport in Astana. The airport consists of 2 terminals with a runway in the middle. I really like the symmetrical shapes here of the modeling grass on both sides of the runway. All of the ground markings look really detailed as well. Plus the lights on the side of the runway look really cool and add a nice effect at night. He's added this ILS box, which of course cannot miss on any large runway, and it's really easy to fold out of paper. You could put a bit more work into the terminals to make them look even better, but for the rest, I really like this airport. Up next we have an unnamed airport, which I would like to show to you because of 2 things. One is this SkyTrain that passes over the airport and its runway. It looks really cool and is really creative, though I'm not sure whether it's really realistic to have it passing over the runway where aircraft fly over, land and take off from. But I do believe it's a really cool addition to your airport. And also he added LED lights to his aircraft models. These are nav lights at each of the wingtips, which I think is a really cool addition. The second to last airport is Fukuoka International Airport in Japan. Once again, a simple minimal model airport featuring 1 terminal, a bunch of taxiways and a runway. The terminal used here is by Gemini Jets. My tip for you would be to add modeling grass on top of the green parts now. Add more ground markings that I just explained a few minutes ago. Add ground service equipment like fuel trucks, baggage carts and catering trucks. And then I believe your airport will look 10 times better. And the final airport of this video is Bordeaux International Airport, located in Bordeaux, France. It is self-built, I think on a piece of cardboard. And considering it's all made using paper and markers, it's actually not too bad. The ground markings look extensive and detailed. Of course, you could consider adding modeling grass instead of the green markings now. Over here you have the Poppy ILS lights, which you could make using white and red paper to make it stand out more and more realistic. And one last tip for you. The runway numbers are 09 on the left and 02 on the right, which doesn't add up. It's either runway 09 on the left side and runway 27, as it is 180 degrees to the other side on the other side of the runway, or 02 on the right and 20 on the left. That is it for this episode of Model Airport Reviews. The most liked comment will deserve a spot in the grand finale. Now a big thank you to all the airports that have been submitted for this episode. I really enjoyed looking at them all. I would like to thank you for watching all the way to the end of this video. Please consider to like and subscribe, and then I will see you in the next video.